What's good, Sooner Nation? A lot of news came down the line this past week, and to be honest, nothing was bigger than all these big-time retirements and resignations we've seen from some of the biggest names in college football and NFL, to be absolutely honest. You saw the end of the era for Pete Carroll as well as Bill Belichick, and then Nick Saban abruptly retired on Wednesday, in which we have a feeling that was all planned and mapped out for a particular reason, but we'll talk about that in another video. But in Sooner Nation, there's a lot of news that came down the line as well. Some targets we went after we didn't get. We got some players returning. And a commitment at the backup quarterback position. So I want to talk about each one of those, give you all the latest news that's going on, and dive in from there. But before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. Y'all know what it is. If you like the content, please hit that like button. It helps us a lot here at the channel. And if you want to see more of the content, please subscribe. A lot of my viewers are not subscribers of this channel, and we would love to make you guys subscribers as we're looking to really expand the content, OU football, college football in general, and of course, having a blast doing it. And so let's talk about some of the news that has come down the line. And so this is Unfair Sports. Let's dive into it. First and foremost, we saw a couple players decide that, yeah, I want to come back for one more season, which adds to what Oklahoma is trying to do going into next season. Man, the depth is going to be unreal, right? Oklahoma has gotten Jalil Farooq as well as Trace Ford, two players that was key in what we were doing this past season, making a valiant return. I know. Talk about Farooq last. A lot of y'all got y'all's opinion on that, and I totally understand, but y'all can hop in the comments. Love to interact with you all. Understand what you all think about these veterans making their return. So first off, Trace Ford. Trace Ford, of course, transferred here from Oklahoma State. He got a lot of flack from Oklahoma State fans. You know, he's from Edmond, so he's a kid that's from the area, and he decided that he wanted to come back. Now, Trace played a lot of football for the Sooners, which to me is a huge deal. And like I said, what we're trying to do, we're going to bring in a lot of experience for Oklahoma going into next season, especially playing into the SEC. That's something that you want to see, right? So Trace came in. He played over 300 snaps this past season, 335 to be exact. He's had some big hits, like the UCF one. You've probably seen it in the video. Love that hit. Dude came out of nowhere. Boom, took the boy out. Ball, right? He did a lot of big stuff. And I think the big things to look at is in the pressures category, he had like 15 total pressures with 6 hits, 9 hurries. He batted down a ball, 11 tackles. You know, he didn't get a sack in the season, but it's funny because, you know, even talking about the man himself, Nick Saban, he always talks about how overrated a stat that sacks are. He's not about sacks. He's about pressure. If you're getting pressure and forcing the quarterback to do things that they don't want to do, you're winning. I'm here for that. And he was one of the players that was getting us a lot of pressure this past season on that edge. Did really good in some of the big games against West Virginia as well as BYU. He actually did good against Kansas as well, right? He did good in tackling and causing pressure. So that's something we're looking for. And then, of course, against Tulsa, he got that interception. And then against Iowa State, he got that fumble that he threw into the back of the end zone, and still one of my favorite videos. I know you saw it roll through here, but the big thing is bringing a veteran presence. That adds, like I said, you got 300 snaps, so that's a lot of snaps. That's a good amount for a defensive lineman. You're going to want to have them around 300 and something snaps, especially whether we'll be rotating players. And so you'll see him working closely with Ethan Downs. You're going to add Woolard, who just transferred in from Miami of Ohio. Add in PJ Adebaware as well as R. Mason Thomas. As long as they're healthy, they're going to be the monsters. And then the freshman class coming in. The good thing is we're bringing veterans back. That's going to make this defense look unreal. So moving on from him, you had Jalil Farooq State. It hasn't been official. Well, it is official. Actually, he posted it on his Instagram. So let me go ahead and clear that up. Posted on Instagram. You could probably run that bad boy back. We're going to have Jalil Farooq back at receiver. Now, I understand a lot of you are not very high on the Jalil Farooq train right now, especially after that Arizona Bowl game. I get it. Very bad game for him. Statistically, he hasn't done everything that we had hoped for out of this past season, but I'm still high on having a veteran of his size at 6'1", 205. especially if we can get him to play in the slot. If he plays in the slot, man, Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson, you add in a healthy Andrell Anthony, Deion Burks, Jalil Farouk, that wide receiver room is going to be elite. And the good thing is I trust Emmett Jones more than I trust most, right? So that's why I'm not concerned about Farouk and his unfortunate fumbling issues. But I'll tell you this, he's going to give us some numbers, right? He's going to play hard, and I mean, that's what you can ask for, right? They asked him to do a lot of different stuff. They had him at running back. I mean, I was hoping we could leverage him like a Percy Harvin role, but like I said, we just got to make sure that he doesn't turn the ball over, in which I think he'll do better going into next season. But, I mean, he did fine as far as, play, and he did a really good job of elevating the guys around him, right? He was the guy that teams keyed in on, which allowed for Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson, Andrell Anthony to actually excel because everybody was worried about him at the wide receiver spot. And so I'm cool with him coming back. That, to me, is exciting. He finished with 45 catches, 690 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both his touchdowns came earlier in the season, but for the most part, a lot of, like I said, the attention on him is what helped get Nick Anderson open, get Jaden Gibson going, Drake Stoops. Everybody's keen on him because he was the returning guy, the guy that was considered the top dude. So now we have to worry about that. So hop in the comments. Let me know about those returning guys. Let's talk about the transfer we recently got, right? Now, a lot of y'all was losing y'all mind when y'all saw this. I've seen some folks with some interesting opinions around it. And I'm going to tell y'all, I ain't low on this like a lot of y'all are. We're bringing in Casey Thompson, the former Oklahoma City kid, Newcastle High School football player. He is returning back to the state of Oklahoma. He'll be here, and what I'm hearing is he's going to be a preferred walk-on, meaning he's going to be a veteran backup quarterback to go with helping train and groom our quarterback room, which will consist of Jackson Arnold leading the way, Michael Hawkins, Brendan Zerbrug. You still got General Booty out there, and now you've got Casey Thompson out there. Now, Casey comes in, like I said, 6 foot, about 195. He played Newcastle. He was a part of the 2018 class. Now, a lot of people were wondering, like, how the heck he got another year of eligibility? So he redshirted 2018. He played sparingly in 19. 2020 doesn't count. So it's only 2 years so far. Played for Texas in 21. Transferred and played in Nebraska at 22. So that's your 4 years right there, right? But because COVID year did not exist, he has one more technical year of eligibility. Played it here in 23, got hurt 3 games in, received a medical hardship. And so that's why now he can make a transfer and play again. FAU, he wasn't going to be able to play for the Owls. So they, decided to go ahead and move on. And him as a veteran is good to have just in the locker room. We all hope he doesn't ever play, right? And it's no shade to him. His brother Kendall played here as well as at Utah. His dad, Charles, played here at Oklahoma. And so he's a legacy that wasn't recruited by the old regime. And now he gets an opportunity to come here and be a part of the program that he wanted to be a part of. But he ended up at Texas because Texas gave him a shot. And, he played in the Red River game. He was the reason why we were down 28-7 to start. And then Caleb came back. My point is Casey coming in, don't look at him as he's an insurance policy that you pray you never use, right? We hope that you never use your car insurance. You hope you never use your homeowner's insurance. You hope a tornado don't come through and take that out. He's there as a full insurance policy for our entire quarterback room. You don't want to end up in a situation like we did against Texas 2 years ago where we don't have a capable quarterback to play. And the good thing with Seth Luttrell's offense, it'll be a lot easier for him to grasp in comparison to the way Levy does it. So you're not looking at bringing him in to start. You're bringing him in as maybe QB3, maybe QB4, could be elevated QB2 based upon how fast he takes the playbook, but he's there to really help. And if anything, he can end up being a graduate assistant right afterwards. I see him going into the coaching realm. I think he has the capabilities, and that is something Oklahoma's taking advantage of. So Bring it in, Casey. Hop in the comments. Let me know how you feel about that. Last thing, we were in some battles for offensive linemen. Still for Lance Hurd. We lost out on Terrence Ferguson, who went to Florida State. I read into some stuff, hearing it's an NIL battle, and I think the one thing I want to remind you all when it comes to getting guys out of the transfer portal, Jaren Kanak said this in one of the podcasts on the Prairies, that you're going to make a lot more money going in the portal than you would be at whatever school you go to whenever you are recruited. And it makes sense because the transfer portal is retail prices, whereas recruiting from high school is wholesale pricing. So you're going to get the better value coming in because they still need to prove. But a lot of these guys, they want that check, and I get it. You know, Terrence wasn't playing much. He played in a rotational role there at Alabama, and he wasn't going to start. The one thing we won't do is guarantee anybody a starting spot. You got to come in and show us that you're ready. So as we're battling for Lance Hurd, unfortunately, Tennessee has a better shot because Tennessee has openings up because they're missing a lot of players. They're losing a lot of players. And we lost maybe our starting lineup, but at the same time, we have a lot of guys that did get a lot of run in certain positions, I think may have a better chance of winning over others. So that's how that works. If you have issues that we're not pulling out a whole bunch of dudes from other big schools, you probably should ask the question, why are those big schools letting those players go? Right? Smaller schools is the one that makes sense. Florida State made a living off of that. I mean, you may have heard of Braden Fisk. You may have heard of Jared Verse. You know, they've pulled guys from Albany and Wyoming and smaller schools and made them into big guys. That's what Florida State does a fantastic job of doing. And getting a player like Terrence Ferguson, you know, can probably help solidify their line. But I'm going to tell you this. Trust in Beatonbow. Think he's got a plan. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Hope y'all have a great weekend. If you've made it this far, you like the content, please hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe. Love you to join this family of college football fans. And yeah, we're going to talk a lot more ball. We've got some stuff coming down on the weekend. We're in the biggest quiet period of it all. Classes start on Tuesday. So hopefully we hear some words on some additional transfers that are still in the portal looking for homes. Maybe we may find ourselves another diamond in the rough. Let's see. We'll talk soon. Peace.